Go, welcome. Gil Roboy here with Eric Rodriguez, candidate for Century High School District. Second time we're doing. The first time we had some technical difficulties, and most people, man, I'd been like, too bad, so sad. I'm a busy man, but I really like what you had to say, man. I feel you're real genuine. You're real. You have a real passion for wanting to serve on this school board and serving your community. And anytime, like I said, when you want to do this again, let's do it. So floor is yours. You know what to do, and take it away.
Thank you, Gil. Thank you for a second shot at this. We had some technical difficulties the last time, so I appreciate your time.
Yes, go ahead. You're running for now. My thing's messing up. I'm like coming out red for some reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Section High School District. Tell me about yourself, man. We'll go.
Okay. So first and foremost, again, thank you for your recognition in my campaign. Most importantly, thank you for your transparency with these local politics. Your campaign and success gave me the confidence to run, and I want to personally thank you for that.
Cool. Okay. So yeah. So Central High School District. What got you to run, and yeah, share about that.
Yeah. So why run? I stepped up to the plate, Gil, just like you did. My campaign is pretty straightforward. I work with children, I work with families, and it opened up my eyes to what I want to bring to our board, which is transparency, mental health awareness, and school safety. So first and foremost, I am a father of 3 daughters who currently attend high school in the district. That's my vested interest in their education. I want to get more involved in their educational decision making. I have the time. I have a unique skill set. I have some work and personal experience, and those that know me know that I lead. So one of my personal strengths that I like to highlight is the ability to make sound and appropriate decisions in high stress environments. That's what you can attest to. That's what goes on in the board meetings.
It's going on the last 6 months. It's just been high stress environment.
I could imagine. So yeah, I like to highlight that's one of my strengths. I developed that strength in policing, as well as emergency response social work. I also think it's important to have diversity in our school boards. Parents are a big part of education. Parents need to be informed to be aware. Parents need a mediator to speak for them. I bring interpersonal skills, assertiveness, and focus on the end game. The end game to me is getting our children the tools, the resources, and education that they need to hit career exploration, trade school, or college.
Keep on going. Like I said, no, but you said that parent perspective that I've shared with many is so important right now. Like you could read about the struggles as a parent, but it's different when you're there and you see your own child or as yourself are struggling, trying to help your child. And even try to be mediator, communicator between the school, the teacher, the principal, the admin, and your child, or multiple children. That perspective and that experience of a parent with a child in the school district, in distance learning, in this environment is important and vital to any successful school board.
Great explanation. I'm keeping you on your toes, Gil. So, also, my family and I, we do have our concerns. I believe these difficult times brought forth the difficult question, from your opinion, who do you believe, who is responsible for our children's education? Is it teachers, parents? Like, from your opinion, what do you think?
Well, I think when they were at school, they're the teachers, right? But in regards to like educating them on morals and principles of life, it falls on a parent. But in regards to preparing them for literacy, mathematical skills, that's on not just the teachers but the schools in general.
Collaborative effort. So the way I see it is, this is no longer a one size fits all approach. First of all, our schools, they need to understand that parents aren't teachers. Parents do need to play supportive roles. However, I would like to believe that most parents have some type of barriers, educational barriers, technological barriers, language barriers, and availability, right? So I want to use the minds of our teachers, our parents, administration, and students to conquer these barriers. I feel the school needs to further adapt, creative problem solve, and be transparent with with their direction. This transparency that I'm advocating for continues with the basics. The school budget. Where's our budget being allocated? What do we need? What's not working? How can we make it work? I will give you access to how the budget works. Continuing with the other side of transparency, my daughter, who's a junior, was attending her second day of class, and another student in the classroom displayed illicit memes and pornographic videos. And this occurred for over 10 minutes. My family addressed it with the principal, and it was addressed by the superintendent in a meeting. My question for the viewers are, did anyone hear about that? I believe it's a serious matter. Our parents should be recognized and given a formal apology and a plan of action, and not take this "we'll look into it" approach. You will have access to me, and I will change this lack of transparency with what goes on in our children's schools and classrooms. I want our children to have, that quality of education. So I'm going to keep going, Gil.
No, yeah, but like you said, transparency, as a school board member, the school board member should take a big burden of that. Because, I understand administrators, teachers, principals, they're daily, day in, out, they're the cogs in that machine of our schools. And sometimes it's hard to, do your job and also inform. But as a school board member, really my responsibility is show up twice a month or once a month, some school districts. And that's it, and vote. So, and I guess the approach I take, and I think you get it, is what am I going to do with that time in between? I should be being transparent.
Yeah,
assisting my staff, my work for, at the top of the chain is school boards, right? And so we can be working too, just because we're not clocking in, clocking out. We should be providing that extra layer of transparency that maybe our administration or our workforce may not be able to do to just constraints and work and the daily duties. So
that's
get it.
I get it. So where was I? The quality of education. I have a daughter at Central. I overheard her teacher say during a classroom. I overheard a teacher say, "Even if you get low scores, the Army will still take you, even if you're done." I don't use that language with my children. We need to work with our administration and ensure our teachers are fully equipped to provide quality education. I get it. I work with children of all ages. Some kids talk like that. However, some kids don't. In an age of mental health sensitivity, we all need to be mindful of how we encourage and discourage our children, especially in the school setting. So speaking of mental health, as a former police officer and a current child welfare social worker, I have dealt with mental health. I work with our high schools during investigations. I feel there's room for improvement in the aspect of recognizing the difference between bad behavior and mental health concerns. So I will advocate for appropriate training, appropriate policy with dealing with children in need. I'm passionate about mental health. Mental health has been on my doorstep. There are plenty of good people and local programs that want to help our children. I will utilize these resources. We need our children to be safe at school.
Yeah, and safety, right? But you said mental health. Right now, kids have been at home, distance learning for 5-6 months. Some children have not even seen another child throughout this time. And there's some sensitivity that I think we got to be aware of. I know sometimes people think, oh, soft, whatnot, but right now, I mean, I've gotten, emotional and been sensitive throughout the past 5 months. I'm a grown up, with responsibilities, and I felt the toll and that this whole thing is taken. I couldn't imagine being a 16-year-old, with the hormonal changes, the societal, social media, these drastic changes, the struggles of a family. And oh man, you're right. Mental health is a really important thing that we need to be focused on, and providing transparency for our family and our students and our workforce. So those two things so far tie together.
You said it better you explained it better than I did, Gil. I got to give that to you. So school safety. That's the last what I left off. So speaking of safety, our schools are going to open. You know, I feel that we should not neglect that bad things have occurred in schools. Again, coming from a law enforcement background, I am an advocate for keeping our students and staff safe and secure. I will continue to improve our relationships, the training, the policies with our local law enforcement resources. Together, we all will play a part in maintaining peaceful schools.
Like I said, man, I really like your perspective you bring. As a parent, that's huge. Like I said, your experience and your with in law enforcement, in mental health, and working with families. And you said in the situations you've been in, having to make decisions. I mean, those all are what attributes are needed in these school board, in any elected position. That's why, man, I said the first time we had those difficult, I went back trying to salvage that previous one. I I want to come back and do this again because
Thank you.
It resonates with me. Like I said, and I think many parents who listen to this will be able to relate, and parents who have children are in that school district. And I think your slogan is perfect, giving you a voice. I feel like you are the voice for many parents right now. And so we'll wrap it up right there. Okay. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to how can they find more information about you?
So one of the last things that I wanted to discuss is I've noticed that you've asked candidates, what is your direct impact if elected? So my training experience tells me to keep my eyes and my ears open, utilize my resources. My goal is to learn, to listen, to give parents their voice. I'm essentially joining a team, joining an educational family. It's not my intentions to destroy, develop partnerships and relationships that our previous board already created. The goal is to build upon them, to continue to grow with these relationships and partnerships, and essentially to give people results. I speak for, I do speak for a lot of parents, and future leaders out there. And I don't want you to forget, Gil, that I want you to know that we do appreciate you and your transparency. And to wind things down, I want to leave with this statement. Eric is not running for the Board of Trustees. I am of the people. I am of the parents. I am of the students. I want to say we are running for the Board of Trustees. My campaign is for us.
Thank you, man. Yeah, you are, man. You're a parent. I'm a parent. And I wish you the best of luck, man. I think you'll be all right. I think once people hear you, once people get to know you and see where you're coming from and who you're working for, and you're gonna take off. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate doing this again. You taking the time as well, and look forward to following your campaign.
Thank you, Gil.